They told you to wait. Wait for the right time. Wait until you feel ready. Wait until someone sees your potential. Wait until the world gives you permission to start. But let me ask you something. How long have you been waiting? How many days, months, years have passed while you stood still, watching others move, while you kept telling yourself, soon. Maybe next week. Maybe when I feel more confident. Maybe when someone believes in me. That someone isn't coming. No mentor is coming to rescue you. No coach, no friend, no perfect boss, no golden opportunity wrapped in a bow. No one is coming. Because it's on you now. All of it. Every ounce of greatness that still breathes inside your bones. Every vision you once had in the quiet hours of the night. Every whisper of possibility you buried beneath excuses, fear, and distraction. It's on you to unearth it. To resurrect it. To give it life or to let it die with you. That may sound harsh, but life doesn't care how you feel about it. The world rewards movement, not intention. It pays those who act, not those who dream. And it transforms only for those who first transform themselves. That's not cynicism, that's power. That's clarity. And when you realize that no one is coming, you stop waiting. You stop outsourcing your destiny. You stop begging life to be easier, and you start becoming stronger. You start doing what the Carnegies, the Disneys, the Fords, the Lincolns did. You build from within. They didn't wait for someone to pick them. They picked themselves. Thomas Edison burned through 10,000 failed prototypes before giving the world light. No one handed him a guarantee. No one gave him a manual. He had to find the switch in the dark. Just like you will. And you will if you decide that today is the day you stop hoping for someone to believe in you, and you start becoming the person worth believing in. That begins with mindset. Because mindset is the architecture of your entire reality. It is the lens through which you interpret failure, challenge, doubt, delay. It is the steel that either breaks or bends beneath pressure. You can build a life with it or watch your life collapse without it. A weak mind seeks comfort. A powerful mind seeks challenge. A weak mind avoids change. A powerful mind requires it. Every person you admire, every icon, every revolutionary, every empire builder, they mastered their mind before they mastered anything else. They stopped waiting for the perfect thought, the perfect plan, the perfect day. They moved. Because they understood, clarity is not something you find in silence, it's something you earn through motion. Through forward pressure. Through resistance. You want clarity? Then move. Not tomorrow. Not when it's easier. Not when it's convenient. Now. Clarity is forged, not found. Purpose is chosen, not granted. Power is created, not given. And that starts the moment you stop scrolling, stop consuming, stop hiding behind the illusion of busyness, and you confront the mirror. Ask yourself, am I building, or am I distracting? Am I repeating the same week 52 times and calling it a year? Or am I evolving, rising, owning this brief, wild chance at life? Because make no mistake, this is your shot. There's no guarantee you get another one. And even if you do, who you are now is shaping who you will be then. This version of you is either setting the next one up to win, or handing it more weight to carry. Don't hand your future self a mountain of regret to climb. Give them momentum. Give them the gift of a decision made in fire, the decision that you are no longer waiting to be chosen. Because belief is not something you wait for. It's something you practice. Every single day. In the dark, when no one claps. In the silence, when no one texts. In the grind, when your legs are shaking and your heart wants to quit, you choose belief. You speak life over your actions. You attach identity to discipline. Because belief is not just about thinking you can. It's about becoming the kind of person who does regardless of outcome. That's not motivation. That's self-respect. And from self-respect comes purpose. Not the kind written on posters or sold in books. The kind you live. The kind that wakes you up before the alarm and whispers, there's work to do. There's a legacy to build. That's the kind of purpose you don't find, you ignite. And the match is your pain. Your past. Your refusal to repeat cycles that have robbed you long enough. So ask yourself, what if everything you've been through wasn't there to break you but to shape you into the one person strong enough to stop it from continuing? That's what purpose does. It repurposes your pain. It makes your suffering sacred. It turns you from a survivor into a creator. And creators don't beg for circumstances to change. They become the force of change. Not because it's easy, but because they understand the truth of discipline. Discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. Freedom from chaos. Freedom from the emotional roller coaster. Freedom from being ruled by the mood of the moment. Discipline is identity in action. It says, I don't care if I feel like it. I am the kind of person who does it anyway. That's how empires are built, not by bursts of motivation, but by ruthless, daily, deliberate, invisible, boring consistency. It's not sexy. It's not viral. But it is how you win. And if you are not willing to live in the boring, to master the mundane, to train in the shadows, then don't expect to shine in the light. Because what you do when no one is watching will always determine what happens when everyone is. No one's coming to hold you accountable. No one's coming to drag you across the finish line. No one's coming to remind you of your greatness. It's on you now. On you to remember what you're capable of. On you to act even when it hurts. On you to become so undeniably consistent, so dangerous in your discipline, that the world has no choice but to notice. And they will. They always do once it's too late to ignore you. But until then, you grind in silence. You write the book no one reads. You build the brand no one sees. You hit the gym when it's raining. You post when no one likes. You show up, again and again, until you are not showing up, you just are. You become it. You live it. And eventually, you lead it. Because the world doesn't need more talkers. It needs doers. It needs warriors. It needs examples. And that example? It starts with you. The example starts with you, not when it's perfect, not when it's convenient, but now, in the middle of your chaos, your doubts, your fears, your unfinished business. You think leaders begin at the top? No. They rise from the mud. From the mess. From the silence no one sees. Lincoln wasn't born a giant. He lost more elections than he won before becoming one of the greatest presidents in history. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Henry Ford's first company failed, and he lost investors before revolutionizing transportation. They didn't start strong. They became strong. Because they understood this truth: there's power in motion. Power in refusal. Power in choosing your direction even when the world laughs. See, too many wait for their life to feel right before they live it. But the champions, they create the right feeling by moving anyway. They know the secret: action breeds clarity. Motion breeds momentum. Consistency breeds identity. You want to stop feeling stuck? Stop thinking and start building. Build something, anything that challenges who you were yesterday. Not because it's easy. Because it's necessary. Because when you move forward despite fear, you teach your nervous system a new lesson: this fear doesn't control me anymore. And when that happens, you become dangerous, not to others, but to limitation itself. You become someone who rises while others rationalize. You become someone who finds a way while others find a reason. You become someone who wakes up with a fire that says, if the door won't open, I'll build my own. And let me tell you this: the world makes room for people like that. Because the world doesn't respond to neediness. It responds to certainty. It bows to conviction. And conviction? It's not born from talent. It's born from choice. From deciding, every morning, I do not need to feel ready, I only need to be willing. Willing to step in. Willing to fall. Willing to look foolish. Willing to walk through fire while others warm their hands beside it. That's leadership. That's mastery. That's the inner shift that separates potential from reality. And this shift, this change, it will not be convenient. It will not feel natural at first. In fact, it will feel like death, not of your body, but of your ego, your excuses, your attachment to comfort. It's the death of the old you. The you who waited. The you who doubted. The you who played small, who gave up the moment things got hard, who only worked when it felt good. You have to bury that version of yourself. Because as long as you keep it alive, you will always have an excuse to stop short of greatness. You can't carry your old limitations into your new identity. There is no room for both. So, kill the old story. Burn it to the ground. And build again from nothing but belief, from nothing but grit, from nothing but the deep knowing that you were built for more. You don't need more motivation, you need identity. Because when something becomes who you are, you no longer negotiate with it. You don't try to be disciplined, you are disciplined. You don't try to work hard, it's in your blood. You don't try to rise early, to push through, to hold your standard. You've become the kind of person who does it without question. That is the power of identity. An identity is forged in the fire of repetition. What you do once is a moment. What you do every day, that's who you are. So show me your patterns, and I'll show you your future. Show me your mornings. Show me your language. Show me what you do when no one's watching. Because that's where greatness is born. Not in the spotlight. Not in the noise. But in the silence where you decide, over and over again, to become unbreakable. Unbreakable doesn't mean fearless. It means you move forward in spite of fear. Unbreakable doesn't mean emotionless. It means your standard is louder than your mood. It means when life punches you in the face and you don't break. You adjust. Because you know the truth, adaptation is your power. The strongest are never the ones who control everything, they're the ones who learn to move through everything. They don't cry because it rains. They learn to dance in it. They don't quit when it gets dark. They learn to build without light. Because they understand, life doesn't owe you anything. But it responds to everything. It responds to movement. To intention. To energy. To faith backed by execution. So stop waiting for life to change before you do. You change first. You stop tolerating average. You stop letting the opinions of people who don't have to live your life decide what you do with it. You stop trying to convince others, and you start convincing yourself. That's how revolutions begin. Not in the crowd. In the mirror. In the moment you finally say, I'm done negotiating with weakness. I'm done begging for easy. I'm done waiting for someone to tell me I'm enough. Because from this moment forward you become the proof. You become the story that someone else will one day tell when they need to believe in themselves. You become the example you never had. Not because it's fair. Not because it's easy. But because you made the decision, no one's coming. So I will. There is a kind of quiet power that comes over a person when they finally stop waiting. When they stop pleading with the world to see them. When they stop screaming into the void for recognition, applause, or understanding, and start building regardless. Because at some point, you realize, you're not here to be noticed. You're here to become undeniable. Not through noise, but through results. Through discipline that doesn't flinch. Through effort that doesn't stall at resistance. Through standards that stay intact even when no one's watching. And that's what separates legends from the rest. It's not charm. Not luck. Not the perfect timing. It's the decision to become so disciplined, so devoted, so dangerous with consistency, that the world has no choice but to take notice. But here's the part no one talks about, that kind of transformation? It's lonely. Growth is lonely. Because most people aren't willing to leave the crowd to find themselves. They crave belonging more than they crave becoming. They choose acceptance over ascension. They settle for the comfort of the herd, even if the herd is headed nowhere. But you were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to fit. You were built to forge. To lead. To rise. To evolve until you make even your past self unrecognizable. And that means, you must walk alone. You must believe before anyone claps. You must invest in yourself when no one else sees the value. You must work like your future depends on it, because it does. There will be days when the results don't show up. When the mirror reflects fatigue, not fire. When the effort feels invisible. That's when most people stop. But that's when you double down. That's when you remind yourself, my standard is not based on the scoreboard, it's based on my identity. Because winners, the real ones, they don't need to see results to continue. They continue to see results. They don't ask, how long will this take? They ask, how far can I go? That's the difference between those who visit greatness and those who live there. And if you want to live there, to breathe rare air, to become someone who walks with weight, who moves with mission, you must kill the question, when will it get easier? It won't. But you will get stronger. You will stop needing permission. You will stop checking if the world approves. You will stop begging for clarity and start carving it out with blood and effort. Because the road to greatness isn't found. It's built. One choice at a time. One sacrifice at a time. One non-negotiable commitment at a time. Think about it. Every person you admire, every master, every titan, every name etched into history, they weren't born with guarantees. They weren't handed a map. They didn't get a free pass. What they got was the same thing you have right now, a moment. A moment to choose. To become the kind of person who doesn't wait for the right conditions but creates them. To be someone who shows up tired, uncertain, unseen but shows up anyway. To be someone who understands that discipline is the bridge between desire and destiny. Not hustle for hustle's sake. Not grind until you break. But purposeful, unshakable, relentless alignment with your future self. That version of you who already exists, the one with the calm confidence. The one with the financial freedom. The one who walks into rooms and doesn't shrink, because they earned their voice. That version is waiting for you to become worthy of it. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And to become that future you, you must let go of the current you. The one who hits snooze. The one who breaks promises to themselves. The one who talks more than they execute. The one who lets fear write the script. You must leave that version behind like a snake sheds its skin. Because every level of your life will demand a new you. You can't conquer your calling with average habits. You can't rise into mastery with the mindset of the mediocre. Your actions must match your ambition. Your behavior must mirror your beliefs. Your grind must be aligned with your God-given potential, not your circumstances. And listen, if you are going to build something with your life, make it unshakable. Make it so grounded in truth, so fortified with intention, that no setback, no insult, no delay can shake it. Because storms will come. Life will test you. People will doubt you. You will doubt yourself. But if your foundation is built from discipline, from purpose, from the unwavering belief that you were born for this, you will not fold. You will bend. You will adapt. You will evolve. But you will not fold. Why? Because no one's coming. And deep down, you know it. No one's arriving at your doorstep with a miracle. No one's handing you your dream life tied in a bow. No one's giving you more time, more energy, more belief. It's on you. It's always been on you. But that's not a sentence. That's freedom. Because if it's on you, that means you don't have to wait anymore. You don't have to beg. You don't have to ask for permission. You are the permission. You are the miracle. You are the turning point you've been praying for. So stop asking when it will happen. Start becoming the person it happens to. Become the person who outlasts doubt. Who outworks circumstance. Who outgrows their excuses. And remember this, you don't need perfect. You don't need easy. You don't need applause. You just need decision. And once it's made, really made, everything changes.